the library! I've just watched some very draining movies, and I thought I'd take a little break to pop in a quick game. Because say what you will about today's review subject, at least it's in color, and at least it's shorter than the movie that I have to watch next. A long time ago, I checked out the Wii version of the Battleship movie license game from the library, and I was pleasantly surprised by what I found. The game was a turn-based strategy game that, while it wasn't my cup of tea, was pretty solid in its design, had a decent story, and it suited the actual IP really well. And like many Activision licensed games at the time, the Wii got a wildly different game than the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. The Wii got what I think people described as a takeoff of Advance Wars, and the 360 got... not Call of Duty, apparently. We'll say Call of Duty. So was there a good reason why the iconic naval combat strategy board game was turned into a first-person shooter, or did they just figure nobody cared because it was friggin' Battleship? I'd say let's find out, but you all know the answer already. The game has absolutely no storyline to speak of. Aliens invade for no reason that they even bothered to handwave. They put a shield over the Hawaiian Islands for... I don't know, and some naval forces that just happen to be in the area for training exercises are sealed off and have to fight them. You play as Cole Mathis, a bomb disposal tech, and I'm pretty sure the only reason your character is specifically a disposal tech is because they have you blow up a lot of alien structures and went, "Hey, the guy who dismantles bombs always has tons of bombs on him, right? EOD is the same thing as a demo man?" Of course, I know nothing about the Navy, so maybe. I think they wanted to get you thinking of a different video game before you get started, though, because this is literally the first line of dialogue.
Hey, Master Chief, I found him.
Yeah, you friggin' wish, dudes. What's really damn weird is that you start the game mid-training exercise, and literally all the Navy soldiers around you are wearing thick-ass goggles and full face masks, completely obscuring their entire faces. Like, either Hawaii is in the middle of a bitch of a pandemic, or given how they didn't animate anybody's jaws moving when they speak, they just wanted to try and cheap out of doing lip sync. You'd think they'd use the training exercise portion of the level as a tutorial stage, but all you do is run around holding a button to defuse bombs, and then the aliens arrive and the game starts. And the game's few cutscenes struggle to maintain a consistent frame rate, by the way. Combat is a rock-simple first-person shooter. Enemies take cover and pop out to shoot at you, and you shoot back in between ducking behind walls or trees or whatnot. The levels are at least slightly open enough that you can find your own cover and move between it as needed, but apart from that, the shooting is painfully stock. Enemies make no attempt to advance on you, outflank you, maneuver, or use any explosive to flush you out. At best, they just kind of run in circles in a tight arena while you shoot at them. This AI is like the bare minimum design required to have a functional shooter game, and that's it. The weapons are terrible. You have a handgun so badly designed that the gun pretty much completely blocks your view when you try to iron sight aim, and this is the age of duty. You need to iron sight aim. In fact, I'm convinced the game is rigged to deal way less damage if you aren't iron sight aiming. The gun you find most often is the alien machine gun, which is a weak-ass Gatling gun that wildly scatters bullets and needs to fire about 100 rounds to hit one target. And it takes forever to reload, and by the time it's wound up enough to be quasi-accurate, it about needs reloading, and, in an utterly baffling decision, you can't pick up more ammo for it. You just have to drop it and pick up a new one if you start to run empty. The shotgun is wildly useless in combat, but is more or less mandatory to clear out a lot of instant kill death traps, so it wastes one of your whole 2 weapon slots that you're given. Most of the time you'll be using the carbine, the stock machine gun that doesn't even seem to recoil, except this game's tone is just bordering on total propaganda for the Navy. They didn't want to leave a bunch of dead soldiers around to loot their bodies for ammo, so actually having bullets for the only useful weapon in the game is kind of a crapshoot. The only other weapon is the alien sniper rifle, which is good, but only given to you for special occasions. And yeah, a whole 5 weapons is the entire arsenal that they bothered to add here. A pathetic 5 guns, and an even more pathetic 3 enemy types. The vast majority of the game is spent fighting basic foot soldiers that fire basic machine guns at a distance and have absolutely zero tactics. Your typical rock-bottom basic shooting gallery cannon fodder. Every now and then you'll have an enemy sniper that dodges bullets and takes a crapload of shots to put down. The only other enemy is the thug, a brick shithouse that charges in and kills you in seconds out of frickin' nowhere. If you don't have a shotgun readily on hand, you die. There's no outfighting them, there is no strategy. If you have no shotgun, you're fucking dead! Sometimes the Gatling gun works if you're obscenely lucky. Nothing else even scratches the bricks, and they just drop on your head with zero warning. Your only clue that they're even nearby is when you just die out of nowhere. The game keeps dropping hints that a fully charged sniper rifle can fight them, but I'm genuinely curious if literally anybody actually tested that. The gun charges too slow and can barely be aimed, and it doesn't work for shit! Just why the hell did I even decide to review this thing? It's one of the most stock, bland shooters that I've seen. They drag you by the nose through tight, narrow levels from one checkpoint to the next. It's slow-paced and tedious enough to feel trudging and dull, and that's kind of it. The hell else is there to say? The only thing that separates this from all the other duty knockoff shooters out there is that you have to pause it every few minutes. Every level, a horde of alien ships is trying to invade the island that you're on, and at any time you can pause the shooting action to bring up a naval map of the area. From here you can command a few friendly ships to move or attack enemy vessels, and why in the hell a lowly bomb tech is commanding the friggin' fleet is beyond me. You have to pay close attention to the map since aliens will bombard you with a non-stop hail of huge bombs if they get close enough, and yet there's so little actual substance or strategy to the naval stuff that it feels more like busywork padding than an actual game mechanic. The alien craft are so damn fragile they may as well be made of paper and duct tape. Unless your ships are literally outnumbered by at least 4-1, they will tear through enemy encounters with ease, barely taking a scratch. You don't even need to be clever with how you deploy your ships or mobilize them around objectives. Just send them to the clearly marked support positions and the aliens will beeline straight toward them into a hail of gunfire. Most of the time, the only strategy is assigning your submarine to fight enemy subs, since surface vessels can barely damage underwater ones and vice versa. The bulk of your input is just pointing ships at what you want them to shoot. The only reason you have to keep checking in on the naval map is because your ships are friggin' stupid! Almost constantly firing on ships they can barely damage, or just sitting idle getting shot. That is, when their glitchy-ass pathfinding doesn't have them swim around the entire length of the island out of nowhere. There is seriously nothing to the naval combat other than being forced to pause every few minutes to make sure that the damn game is working right. As you kill foot soldiers, you get cards that you can assign to your ships to upgrade them for the duration of that level, except there's such a shallow pool of cards that I can rattle off all the effects off the top of my head. One-time heal, damage buffs, armor, radar, and gain buffs near friendlies. That's it. There's no strategy here, just stack damage buffs on your ship so they can tear through enemies faster, and throw away all the radar cards because seriously, radar is completely friggin' useless. And if you find the busted-ass salvage card that makes the shield heal itself whenever it takes down an enemy, the naval combat plays itself. Your ships will stay at full health with zero input on your part. There is a card that lets you manually control a ship, but it only lasts for 20 seconds, and all you do is mash the shoulder buttons to fire weapons. Functionally, it's just an instant kill one enemy item to thin herds or just speed up the level for sheer impatience. Although they just knocked right on the door of a much better game they could have made, adding in actual levels where you steer or at least go rail shooter on a Navy ship instead of just a COD clone that you have to keep pausing. Let's see, I'll use the manual control item to attack a ship that's clear on the other side of the island. Huge chunk of rock and a big stretch of land between them, and yep, the game has me shooting at a ship that's suddenly warped right next to me with no obstacles in the way. Figures. Remember when I said that the game's tone feels kind of propaganda-y? Well, it's not just because Navy ships tear through alien vessels like they were made of cardboard and prayers, or because there's an actual ad for the United States Navy in the extras. It's because they do absolutely everything in their power to make sure the Navy looks uber badass and strong at all times. Basic rise and fall storytelling beats are too good for this game, so the Navy never suffers any so much as minor defeats, and is basically whooping alien ass the entire game. In the enemy descriptions that you can look up in the bonus content, every single alien ship is described as, "Oh yeah, this big ship came up, and then we kicked its ass! USA! USA!" They don't even try to pretend that the aliens, who never get names by the way, are a threat. I get the need to support our armed forces, but they don't even try to solve for 1 second that there's any danger to this invasion. There is no suspense or tension, you just go around curb stomping losers. Cross that with the bland, lifeless gameplay and there's just nothing to hold your interest. It's a game so dull that even the game itself doesn't want you playing it. See, there is one feature that a lot of Call of Duty games don't have. If one of your ships occupies a support position, you can order it to support you. You bring up a targeting reticule, mark a spot on the map, and then freaking everything dies. If you ever just don't feel like taking out an enemy group, you can order one of your ships to drop 2 missiles on the map and wipe them out in seconds automatically. 1 button push and they will clear out entire encounters for you, and the support weapons don't take very long to recharge. You can bust them out for damn near every fight and just coast through some whole levels. And this is me playing on hard mode, because I had to go back and check to see if the support positions actually do anything after I'd already beaten the game. The game is not balanced at all around the support ship's inclusion. This is designed from the ground up as a stock shooter that just incidentally lets you nuke your enemies whenever you want. There's this tough fight in level 3 where you need to protect a generator while it comes back online, right? Just order the destroyer to bombard there, order my cruiser to drop some missiles there right as enemies spawn. Just for good measure, have my submarine launch a mine that stuns enemies motionless for ages, and barely had to fire my gun at all in this shooter game! And this is before you can just order your battleship to blister entire swaths of the stage at once because its cannons have an absurdly massive target area. There are a ton of enemies off in the distance that I can't reach because there's a whole no man's land in the way, right? Well, I'll just radio up my trusty battleship. Whole group down. Oh, what's that? You don't believe that this game could possibly have been so rushed as to let you casually skip fights whenever you want? Well, aside from shitbox cutscenes that all have frame rate problems, let me show you some of the fun glitches that I found. I got enemies repeatedly firing into walls trying to shoot me, glitched out spazzy dead bodies, getting stuck on the terrain and unable to move, the boat that comes to carry you away at the end of stage 2 you completely pass through, and my personal favorite, enemies getting stuck in the terrain when they're deployed on top of me. Best part is, this dude's immortal. I stuck my shotgun up his pooper and fired a few blasts. Nothing happened. Like I said though, my first run through the game I didn't use any of the support positions, so we'll continue the review assuming that there isn't a horrifically unbalanced exploit that breaks the game in half whenever you just get tired of playing it. In the second level, you need to free up a submarine to join your fleet. You do this by storming an island and blowing up an alien jammer and a weather machine. In the third level, you need to free up a frigate to join your fleet. By storming an island and blowing up an alien jammer and a weather machine. Level 4, you have to retake a critical airfield so that you can free up the Missouri to join your fleet. By storming an island and blowing up an alien jammer and a weather machine. And I was wondering why they stress about 100 times that losing the Missouri will mean losing the whole war. It's because the Missouri is a battleship, and they were hideously failing at referencing the original game's catchphrase. And 3 guesses what you do in levels 5, 6, and 7. Time's up! You're set up to blow up more alien jammers and weather machines. Only this time you're doing it to secure a beach and a laboratory that you already secured in previous levels. I'm not kidding, the game has no plot, and they still make you repeat the premises of levels 2 and 3. I don't think that they full-on recycle the maps? I can't tell, because every damn level of the game is completely interchangeable beaches and forest. Show me footage from literally anywhere in the game, I couldn't even begin to guess which specific level it came from. There's a brief part of level 3 where you're defending a position from enemies with some AI partners, and just a rule of thumb, the partner AI doesn't do squat. And it's a damn good thing that friendly fire isn't a thing, because your allies here are colored almost exactly the same as the enemy troops. Level 4 is a pain in my ass. It's the first level where you get to use the sniper rifle, and you immediately have to use it to cover a humongous area, preventing aliens from getting to and insta-killing some ammo dumps. And this section is completely unforgiving. If you don't know to shoot the aliens as soon as they land, you're pretty much boned, especially with how restrictive the zoomed-in perspective is with this rifle. Then you're thrown into an area where you need to fight constantly spawning enemies while your fleet takes out 6 alien vessels. The enemies are all so far away that you need to keep using the sniper rifle, but the killer is, the game will just drop thug enemies right on top of your head, and if you didn't just happen to stumble across the one shotgun in the level stashed off under one of the planes in the corner, you're hosed! They will insta-kill you multiple times! And the game spawns these assholes more than once! And then when you've cleared out all the enemies and have sunk the armada at hand, 5 exploding shredder balls ambush you out of frickin' nowhere, and unless you still have the shotgun on hand, they just kill you instantly. There aren't even any enemies after this point, you're just walking to the exit. There is no purpose to these things but to piss you off! And then level 5, you keep getting ambushed by thugs completely out of the blue that pound you into the dirt, and minefields that will insta-kill you if you didn't know to hold onto the shotgun at all times, because apparently it's the only gun that clears these hazards. Cheap death traps are a substitute for a difficulty curve now, are they? I honestly could not tell any difference between the normal and hard difficulties. Maybe your health takes a little longer to regenerate, but that's it. Your ships still utterly curb stomp all the alien vessels in case you thought the misbalancing was done on purpose. And speaking of your ships, levels will keep having certain ships in your fleet just vanish without a word of explanation. Maybe they didn't want to balance so many encounters for having multiple ships, I couldn't tell. Level 7, the Navy detects a big underwater alien structure, and you're sent to a new island to check it out by blowing up some alien jammers and weather machines. And you'd think this would be setting up an epic final level where you storm inside an alien fortress, maybe finally get some different scenery. You'd be wrong! At the end of level 7, the alien flagship just pops up, and it turns out this is the end of the game, cutting off out of nowhere with no build-up and a piss-annoying final boss. It's so anticlimactic, it feels like the game just gave up. You're dropped into a dead-end area with non-stop respawning enemies, and you're told that your fleet needs to destroy the mothership. Except no matter what I did, I couldn't command any of my ships to actually attack the mothership. I thought maybe you had to destroy all the other alien ships in the area, but I cleared the map multiple times and my ships just sat idle, not doing anything. I ended up having to command all of my ships to sail up and park 1 square away from the mothership, and that finally got the message across for them to shoot the damn thing! Once the mothership's shields drop, you have to command your battleship, and only your battleship, to sail to one specific part of the map to attack it. Only my battleship was on the complete wrong side of the map, and the mothership's shields respawned before I could get it into position. So I dropped the damn thing's shields again, and you have to use the manual command card to blow up the ship yourself, only it takes at least 2 shooting segments to actually kill it, between which its shields replenish again! This whole fight, you've also got a carrier off to the side of the map that you can't issue any commands to, and which constantly gets ravaged by respawning enemy ships. I thought you had to keep taking time out to babysit the friggin' thing, but I should have known. The alien ships are so pathetic, and the American Navy so fallaciously badass, that even with aliens dogpiling your carrier 8-1, it barely takes any damage. This whole time, meanwhile, you're fighting off endlessly respawning alien foot soldiers that, if you're not careful, will spawn in right on top of your head and kill you before you have any chance to escape. And with a dangerously limited supply of ammo for your one good weapon, and with 0 checkpoints mid-mothership battle, this entire sorry excuse for a final boss just reeks of the game screaming, "Cripes, we give up already! Nobody cares about Battleship! Why'd you even buy this damn thing?" But you finally destroy the mothership. You get a very brief cutscene of jet fighters blowing it up with all of 1 volley of missiles completely unopposed. and the game just cuts off to credits. 7 levels, 3.5 hours long, game's done. So, that was barely a game. Stock knockoff shooting action, a strategy sub-game that doesn't take any strategy, no story to speak of, cheap design in lieu of a difficulty curve, and it just cuts off before even reaching the 4-hour mark. This is one of the rare times where the radically different Wii version actually wins out. Why didn't they just make a strategy game for the other systems? People did play more games than just Call of Duty that generation, you know? Given that the game's extras have a lot of concept art for actual creative stages like a rundown amusement park or a tropical volcano, I'm guessing this is a case where the dev team did have some degree of ambition but was so rushed to crank out something shippable to make the movie's release that everything but the absolute bare bones of functionality had to be chopped out. Although the game comes to us from Double Helix Games, the same devs as Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters, a shovelware G.I. Joe game, and what I hear is one of the worst Silent Hill games ever, so it's not like there was much potential here to begin with. And now that the game's over, I too can move on to more interesting review subjects, like a certain 4-hour movie that's been hanging over my head for a year now, as soon as I consign this waste of space back to the Terrors of the Library!
Mathis, good job.